Good morning, everybody. Now, there is a situation going on in a school in the London borough of Croydon. This is a Catholic secondary school called John Fisher School. And on the 7th of March, a couple of months ago, was World Book Day. And the staff of the school, I think with the agreement of the governors at the time, had arranged for a book author called Simon James Green. I've never heard of this guy before, but apparently he is gay, and he wrote a book called Noah Can't Even. And in the book, there is something that's considered highly blasphemous. There are the words of the Lord's Prayer that everybody knows, or most people in this country know, and the words have been changed, and they describe some explicit sexual acts. This should not be going to children. Doesn't matter whether it's straight or gay, whatever. You don't describe explicit acts like this to children, specifically, especially not younger children. These were year 8, so 12 and 13-year-olds. And this is not appropriate for any children in any school, let alone a Catholic school, which should know better. It's the sort of thing you might expect to hear, the Lord's Prayer being said, the words deliberately changed in order to be edgy, whatever, please the alphabet people, sort of that kind of thing. You'd expect that you might hear that in a Jimmy Carr show or a Ricky Gervais show or a Danny Boyle show, whatever, late night, where they're talking to adults, but not a school, and not a Catholic school, which is supposed to be teaching children, traditional family values. Now, to the great credit of the Bishop of Southwark, Catholic Bishop of Southwark, who is overlooking this, and the education in the diocese there is his responsibility. And he stepped in and he said, no, this is not going ahead. We're not going to have this reading by this author of this book to these children in my school. And well done to the Bishop of Southwark, the Catholic Bishop of Southwark, for doing that and stepping in and safeguarding children. And then he replaced some of the governors on the governing body who allowed this to go ahead. But then what happened is that the mainstream media got wind of the story. This was all back in March, and I missed this actually, but the headlines, of course, were Catholic school bans gay author, and that's how it spun. Nothing about sort of safeguarding children from these kind of contents and explicit content in schools, and praising the bishop for protecting children, which is what they should have done. They spin it the other way, of course. I mean, this is the progressive values that are present in sort of the establishment, the media establishment and the political establishment and so on. And this is, of course, what they promote. So that's no surprise that the sort of mainstream media spun it that way. But then there was a snap inspection by Ofsted, the body that regulates education, to see if, I suppose, to see if they could find out something and then, take control of the school and do whatever they want to and sort of force this thing to go ahead. What they found actually is, even according to their own standards, the school was very tolerant and the kids were happy, and, whatever you are, you're accepted as a human being, within the Catholic framework. So they couldn't find anything wrong with the way the school was operating. So, this whoever has come in, I suppose some people with the intention of causing trouble for the people who stopped this particular author from reading his book, wanted to do that, didn't happen. So that was a good thing. But now some of the teachers in the school, who you'd think would be Catholic or would support the Catholic ethos and traditional family values because they work in a Catholic school, are gone on strike because this particular author couldn't read his book. And, what do they want? Do they want children to hear this kind of stuff? in a Catholic school. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That's completely inverted from what should be happening. Everything, of course, is turned upside down. This is deliberate. We've seen this going on in many, many different areas across society, in the UK, across the West, across the board, over the last, 20, 30, 50 years, however far you want to go back, 100 years to the Frankfurt School, etc. But, particularly in the last 5 or 10 years, this sort of inversion of good and bad has accelerated. So, it's shocking when you sort of see this happening, and teachers are sort of supporting what's wrong rather than what's right. But they are striking. They're actually striking in this school, and of course for this one thing. And that's going to affect the children's education. The children need to go to school. They need to learn maths. They need to learn science. They need to learn grammar, literature, proper literature, which is uplifting. You'd think in a Catholic school they would learn about C.S. Lewis, and they'd read Augustine and St. Thomas Aquinas and other great Christian authors from the past, not things that are going to oppose Christian orthodoxy and Christian doctrine. It's a Catholic school. Come on. If you don't want to support Catholic principles, Christian principles, why are you working in a Catholic school? Go somewhere else, and and then where you're free to spread your narratives, but that shouldn't be spread to children. Children need to be safeguarded from sexualization. So thank you so much to all the parents there who are taking the side of the good and the right and protecting children from this kind of content, explicit content. And I know some of the parents are going to be out counter-protesting, I think. So we'll got to see how the situation goes down when it goes down. But, I salute all the parents who are standing up for decency in the face of people trying to bring in content like this to children. Similar thing. I mean, this happened in schools in Birmingham a couple of years ago. We all know about situations there, Parkfield School, Anderton Park School, where there were protests by parents who didn't want the sort of programs coming in that were propagandizing and promoting these kind of things that go against traditional values. I won't say it on this platform, because if I do actually mention the actual programs and the actual things, I will be demonetized and thrown off the platform. But you can look them up. So I'll leave a link to the story in the Catholic Herald down below, so you can read the situation for yourself and see how it's developed. And please do give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and obviously in the Heritage Party we support traditional family values, and we want to protect children in schools from explicit lesson content which is going in. So please come and join us in the Heritage Party too, to make a difference in politics, to truly safeguard children from these kind of things, rather than people just pretending they are and then doing the exact opposite and allowing these things to go in. So thanks for listening, everybody, and thank you, parents in Purley, standing up for what's good, and God bless you all.